I can see Andy. Oh, you don't know what's going on. ah. Hello, Andy.
How's that?
I can hear you, Andy. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, God, lovely. There we go.
Telling me Zoom phone is expanding my reach.
Sounds a bit sexual.
Doesn't it? Yeah. Oh no, it's still here. Still here.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Have you been learning from John Wills?
It had overlaid it somehow. There we go.
Well, we haven't even gone on to Gary Histed yet. We're talking about overlaying, but that's another. That's another. Hello, Leon.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
All right.
Hopefully, we have a George here as well.
Yeah, I'm here.
Right then, chaps.
I'm here.
Just so everyone knows, George is here. We have the lovely returning Flat White Andy here. We've got Lounge Lizard Leon, and we've got In the Dark George. He probably doesn't want us to see his ginger outcomes. A great week again. 4 points out of a possible 6. Shall we crack straight into, firstly, how was your New Year's? Everyone have a good one?
Yes.
Andy, you're just returning from, where did you go again?
Lanzarote.
Did they serve flat whites out there?
Well, they do. I mean, they probably do in the town, but you don't really in Lanzarote. There's not really a concept of a Costa or a Starbucks or any of that old stuff. It's always a straightforward coffee, which is a cafe solo.
Yeah, sounds like a rapper.
Yeah,
I'm sure that I used to like a rapper called Solo.
The shit Star Wars character.
Ooh, which one? Oh,
Cafe Solo.
Oh yeah, that's
right.
I'll give you that. That's a good one.
Yeah. I'll be with you when I finish this.
Yeah.
Hold me lightsaber.
Yeah. You do look a bit Darth Maul-like, actually, Andy. Just so throwing it out there. Right.
Yeah.
Don't go, Andy. Stay, please.
I'm not really. Yeah, I'm not really big on Star Wars.
Are you not?
No.
You had a double-ended one. There's a bit of double entendre there as well. Yeah.
Double-ended. Well.
Yeah, it's lightsaber. Nothing.
Built for entertainment.
Yeah. Red tips.
Built for pleasure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Vibrating red tips. And George, your New Year's, you had a good one?
It was all right. The DJ was really bad. The DJ was so bad, I'm now actually going to become a DJ. That actually happened. So yeah, that's my news.
You DJ where? So where were you again?
Went to a really good pub in Folkestone, and it was a good night. But just the DJ could have just played some songs that were good. That'd have been nice. Apart from that, it was a great night. But yeah, I'm going to be a DJ. That's how bad it was.
Oh, okay. So what was your top 3 most annoying songs? What was it? What set you off?
They weren't like they were annoying. It was just play some bangers. Like, where's Come On Eileen? It's New Year's Eve. Put on some bangers. Like, it's like, there's like good, you're from the 80s, Chris. So there's like good 80s and bad 80s. Like, there's just boring and drab.
Yeah, so David Essex, yeah?
Yeah, it's just like standard, like, I don't know, grey 80s. And it was just, why?
So was there no oops upside your head then?
Oh, come on, yeah, exactly. No?
This is Andy thinking what working class people do for fun.
That was an absolute staple of our staff discos when I was a kid in the early 80s.
Oh, oops upside your head, mate. Come on.
Yeah. When I was mixing with the proletariat.
Excellent work.
Well, yeah, very good. Right. My one was spent with my lovely wife after some pints in Old Town. We had a lovely time, and then the baby was up about 4 or 5 times in the night. So it was a wonderful, wonderful New Year's. And then the early hours were not so great, but because I've got several children.
Seven.
I fell asleep to Jules Holland.
Do you still watch Jules Holland? Since I've found out it was a work and it isn't at New Year's, I can't watch it.
Oh, is it not?
You really believe?
Oh, no, I've done it to you now. Right, no, it's filmed months earlier.
Well, I shouldn't be surprised, really. No, that's not really.
So you're reckoning that Ed Sheeran turns up in the studio on
Oh,
New Year's Eve?
True. Yeah. Nah, of course not.
Yeah, but it's nah. It used to be a staple of mine. I'd always watch it, and then as soon as I found out it was filmed before, it's like, yeah.
No, there's nothing
I'm
else
utterly
on,
stunned. I'm utterly stunned that anyone for 1 second believed that was filmed live.
Well, some of us are a bit gullible, Andy. All right, mate.
In my defence, I'm normally about 6 beers deep at midnight, so I'll believe anything.
Yeah, true.
Hence why I was falling asleep.
Anyway, the news just in on Santa Claus for you, if you can handle it.
You don't go there. Don't go there, mate.
Up, please.
We're big lovers of Crimbo here, mate. So stop it.
Anyway, come on, tell us about the game, because I can obviously contribute nothing apart from what I saw on the Twitter feed.
Yes, right. So we're going to crack on first of all with Lancing. Now, I think all of us lads were there, other than you, Andy, weren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So Georgie, you were there, weren't you?
Yeah. So Andy was like the only person in Hastings not at the game.
Exactly.
I did feel like that when I saw the figures. I just think it could have been 2018.
Cracking attendance. I was a bit worried it weren't going to be the half decent game. We usually get a massive gate and we end up losing, but pulled it off. Dicko stood erect and got it in the net. That's gone a bit entendre, isn't it? Thoughts from the game, Leon?
I thought Lancing they didn't look like a team, were they? Third bottom? They didn't look like a team that low down. I thought they were very well organised. Their keeper had an absolute blinder.
Yeah, he went bad,
and made it a really tough game for the lads. It would have been nice if Dicko could have tucked that penalty away just to stop the Bummer going a bit towards the end of the game, but managed it in the end. Luckily, their shooting wasn't on point either. I think a couple of the Lancing shots are still in orbit, fortunately. But yeah, no, good day well. So with the attendance, it's good. Like, was it 2017? I think because I was at the AFC Wimbledon game that we broke the previous record. I think it was like 1,800, and probably most of that would have been AFC Wimbledon fans. So this time around, it was probably cracking that all of that, all the crowd up there on Saturday, bar 5 Lancing fans is all Hastings.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Bloody. That's what we don't remember, is it? That it was all us. You know, because Lancing were at least 5 of them brave souls come up. I mean, I did like, just to add to this, the banter that was going to that goalkeeper. There was low level banter from a few people in the crowd, and it was all about like he drives a hatchback. You know, they just like this sort of like trying to subtly annoy him. It was just these comments about like he shops in Morrison's. It just there was these things. This one bloke just kept telling him things like, and I can't remember it. That's annoying. That's annoying. But
edit this podcast. Just edit it in.
I do. Afterwards when I remember, we'll do. I'll say it in a very loud voice.
Yeah, how about this? Oh, Chris, that's really interesting. Thanks for remembering that. There's some really funny comments there that you remembered and recited to us on this great podcast. Thank you.
Amazing quality mental disintegration from behind the goal.
I mean, there was some comments about his bottom, which the goalie did appreciate. As you were saying, Leon, really, it was that thing of they were really organised. Defensively, I thought we were superb. I thought the back 5 basically were like right on it, and we, I think if it had been 6-8 weeks ago, we could quite happily have lost to that team. But I thought we were really, really solid. I didn't think we would concede, and I know we were squeaky bum when it was 1-0, and you never know. But I thought it was a fine victory. What about you, George?
Yeah, it's fine. Like, we're not going to score like 5 goals every game, and I was saying this about now before. Like, we say a few months ago, we were being the better team a lot of the time and looking really dangerous all the time, and then not winning games. Now we're winning games. So that's the switch I think that we've made. We've found a way to win 1-0, getting points against teams that we wouldn't have. So yeah, I'd rather be like that, if I'm perfectly honest, winning nearly every week again.
Yeah, well, I mean, a big part of that's Finn O'Mara. I mean, he's like a beast, mate. He's a proper beast in that as a centre half, both coming forward as well. I mean, look at the difference from our fry-ins, corners. He's frying himself at that ball. Like, you remember he wrapped himself around our post a couple of times. Jumbo trying to get the ball in that Lancing game. I don't know if you remember. And then, you know, just taking people out. So, fantastic. Oh, please sign him up, please. I've heard good.
I mean, I know missed the past couple of games. He's looked a really good fit from the moment he arrived. Even his first game, just looked confident, just looked relaxed, looked like he was more than capable. No settling in period whatsoever. That's what I liked. No settling in period at all. Straight in and made a difference.
Well, strong whisper from the top is he's going to be ours eventually. So he's not going nowhere. So, and that's an absolute massive plus. I thought Cisse had a good game as well. He had tons of space down that left hand side, and I thought he was a right nuisance. It was a great out ball that we probably maybe didn't have in that VCD game. They didn't give us the space, but like.
When I was talking about the game, I've sort of said it was quite a nervy last few minutes. But thinking back, I don't think I've actually felt like Lancing were ever going to score against us.
Sort of,
I mean, it's easy to say because we won in the end, but I do remember sort of standing there and thinking, no, I think we're all right. I don't think they were really ever threatening us. Just sort of contradicts me saying a squeaky bum time last few minutes. But
well, yeah, there's a squeaky bum time from 6 to 8 weeks ago, which was definitely squeaky bum time because we were quite happily conceding goals. But I think with O'Mara in there, and all the other lads have stepped up as well. It's just there's just a confidence there that you ain't getting in our goal. And obviously that was six in a row, wasn't it? 6 clean sheets in a row. Then we move on to VCD, which was a toughie really because they're no mugs, half decent form. And I can't remember, was it Ashford or Cray they beat?
They beat Cray 3-0 previous week.
Yeah, so they beat Cray 3-0.
Cray have imploded a bit, haven't they?
Yeah.
Cray, they've had a funny old one. They've really strange, tailed off.
Well, what a time to do it because they couldn't, they felt the Hastings pressure. And they're all of them have fallen by the wayside.
Breath on the back of their neck.
Oh, that sounds a bit, yeah. Okay.
Calm yourself.
Hey. Who wants to kick off first on VCD?
I'll do it.
Go on then, George.
So, yeah, look, it's a good point. It's a 0.1 away from home. They're in good form. They're a good side. And they've got a striker who's bang up for it because he used to play for us, and Yusuf Bamba.
Not Gascoigne.
Not Bamba Gascoigne, no. And yeah, they played well. We played well. I know the 3 officials were largely asleep for most of the game, but that's not the reason why we didn't win. 2 outstanding saves from our keeper.
Oh, brilliant.
You've got Jack Dixon being absolute monster in the midfield.
Some of those challenges, mate. Fucking hell.
Just brilliant. As John Wills would say, tremendous tackle.
Yeah, tremendous.
But seriously, unbelievably commanding in the middle of the pitch. Sam Adams doesn't stop running. I think he's 5 games off 600 now, something like that. Games at Hastings, so many positives. Goldsmith back on the pitch looking good. It's definitely a point games. So lots to feel happy about.
Only a little while. I mean, I don't know if you know Andy, but a little bit of a worry was obviously Chalmers got a knock. Lloyd Dawes missed the game through injury. He reckons he's going to be back next week.
Ollie Black was missing, wasn't he?
That's COVID. Apparently he had COVID. according to
So,
what
because I was going to ask the obvious $64 million question: did not having the dead ball situation from the long throws make a difference? Because we've actually, one thing I've noticed is that we scored not the long throws, but we scored a lot of goals from dead balls, haven't we?
Well,
we scored 2 goals from open play, didn't we?
Yeah. So,
in
so it was
this game, which was great to see.
did it change the dynamic on Monday?
Well, what they were throwing with their hands is the dynamic change, really.
So was someone taking long throws?
Not as long as Ollie Black.
No, Kane Penn only throws with his hands.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
limited there. He's limited.
But what I would say is it was really promising, which is good balls in from the wide areas. Obviously Jack's there for the goal. Kenny put some balls in. Nori's ball across the box for Sam as well. So he looked really dangerous from wide. Ben Pope deserves a lot of credit for that assist to Martin for the goal.
Yeah, lovely flick.
I think Adam Carr said false to the head on commentary. He's managed to flick that back, and everyone thought he was going to go for goal. He probably would have headed it over. He's seen the player behind him. So that's outstanding play, and I don't think we get either goal yesterday without Ben Pope on the pitch, because of the second one he's driven their centre backs back because they're worried about him. He's bullying their centre back for the whole game. So a lot of credit needs to go to him, though.
Yeah, no, dude. And
I think he had a slow start to the season, and he was snatching at things and maybe taking on chances that he shouldn't have done, because it was almost like you felt the desperation for a goal, and it's quite nice. He's built into the season, and that does make a difference. I saw the goals on the Twitter feed today, and yeah, that was a very, very neat header, no doubt.
Yeah, Leon, you want to think about VCD, mate?
I haven't got anything to add, really. I just think a draw is a fair result. Yeah, I think there's mumblings about the refereeing and that, but I think the draw was fair enough. I think I don't think there's too many complaints from the players about the penalty, but the free kick leading up to it.
Yeah, no, that didn't.
There was a couple where the ball sort of flicked up and hit their hands. It must have happened like 3 or 4 times, and I've had it against my team, the plan on Saturday. It's like the exact same thing. The ref's given a handball, and I've got the arse about it, and you're getting people saying, "Well, that's the rules. It's hit his hand." Yeah, you go and watch high level football, and the exact same happens, and the refs just waved it on. But who'd be a ref? I couldn't do it.
Not at all. Not at all. Well, I mean, if we're going to talk about, like, Bamba he used to play for Hastings. I thought he had a fairly decent game. He obviously got the penalty, didn't he? Did he get a penalty?
Yeah,
he took the penalty. Yeah. I think they were pretty decent. I think, if we hadn't have turned up today, and if Louis hadn't, I mean, there was particularly once. Do you remember that one he tipped around the post? Do you remember that? Well, there was. Well, you had that one around the post, and then you had the one where he with the confidence to. What's really changed about Louis since we've had those problems with conceding is that he's very confident in his decision making now. So when he comes out, he's proper out. There's no half measures. Steam straight into it, closed down well, and has made he's an invaluable player that I'm interviewing tomorrow, by the way. So if anyone's got anything they want to say to Louis, to say afterwards. But it's good stuff. Good stuff.
Does he think he could get a place in the team playing outfield? He plays like he does. I'll sit there saying to Laura sometimes, I said he's a better bloody outfield player than I could ever want to be. Funny.
I mean, we're really lucky to have such a good goalie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boys, any thoughts on VCD? Anything else we're missing?
Oh, yeah, the Bovril was outstanding. That was great to have that option as a beverage at football grounds. Large Bovril 150. And actually, to be fair, their facilities are really nice, and they got really nice bar. Beer in a glass is always nice. Really great clubhouse, nice people. So yeah, all credit to them. It was a really, really nice trip, actually. Really nice trip.
Yeah. Are we going to mention Histed?
Well, Gary.
Yeah, the legend that is Histed
has a fresh haircut everywhere he goes.
Yeah, that he gets, as it's been called out, every game he's got a fresh haircut. He's almost like, remember like when Beckham in his prime, it would always be a different haircut.
Yeah, that's
He's
basically
there with his
Gary.
entourage. He's there with his entourage, making all the. I love it when he's chatting with the linesman and ref. I think that's awesome. I just
Is chatting the words? Are they having a nice to and fro? No.
yeah, it's just beautiful. You can't. I mean, it's a highlight. It's a highlight because you can hear him halfway across the ground. You're like, yeah, everyone, we're wandering off to go get a beer at half time. You can still hear him. It's just beautiful.
Did you see, as you go into the ground, there's like a little porta cabin. I don't know if it's for the directors, but there was a couple, like, when we was kicking up that end, there was a couple of like VCD people standing outside this little porta cabin. And yeah, I think Gary got involved with one or two up there. And like when we scored our second, I literally just turned straight around and
Is he
the
doing
guys. That was me actually, the prawn sandwich brigade up there, giving it a bit when a few of our passes went astray, and turned around and gave it the old shh.
To be fair, that was the posh bit, the director's box, and Adam Carter's in there doing the commentary. So he's in there going, yes, Super Sammy Adams, 2-1 to Hastings, and he's in their director's box. So
well, mentioning Adam Carter, obviously Adam's doing the commentary now, and bless him, big job to take on. I was for the bits I heard just before the game, I was impressed. And anyone that's listening to this bloody podcast, please, if you see Adam, give him some encouragement. If you want to, join in, if you can. There's not many clubs in this level that have commentary, for every game. So we must try our best to support him. I don't know if any, Andy, you obviously didn't know about it. And all of us that were at the game, so I presume we weren't listening. No.
Yeah, I like I said, I saw the thing in the Observer afterwards saying.
Oh yeah, what was his name again?
He's down in the Observer as community reporter, I think. Yeah,
He's community.
Yeah,
sounds like someone who's on like the offender list, doesn't it? Yeah,
well, you also your local budget superhero or whatever, community reporter, man. But,
as long as he's not Janet Street Porter, because that would be really weird. Right. So I think we're done with VCD. I'm trying to think if there's anything. What about VCD fans?
Do you know what? It's great to see some like teenagers at their local non-league club when they could have been like at home watching Sky Sports or whatever, and they were well engaged with it. So that was actually brilliant to see that they had some fans and that they were young. Usually when we go to these clubs, like you go to Hive and there's no one under the age of 70 in a Hive top.
Yeah, but that's Hive, isn't it? I don't think there's anybody under the age of 70 in Hive, so that's
Well, there's a secondary school down the road. It's not just. I feel like, and then clubs like that struggle with money, and people we need to get younger people through the door. Like we do at Hastings.
No,
and
I think it's a totally valid point. It's interesting. I watched, due to the wonders of the technology, they seem to have every single channel in Europe in this apartment that we stayed in, and I watched some
Babe Station
had it on in the background, some Premier League football, and God, it was absolute garbage. It was just excruciating. It was agony.
Who were you watching?
City Brentford, or Brentford versus City, where their coach described it as a defensive masterclass that they'd only managed to lose 1-0. I thought, well, that sums this league up, doesn't it? And then the Arsenal City game, I left it after an hour. I just was almost.
You're too used to Hastings.
Somnambulant.
You're too used to the raw entertainment that is Hastings.
It slightly depresses me that people sit in front of that like cabbages rather than go and watch football. So George has got a very good point.
Well, these youths, they did need to learn more than one song. But no, yeah, bless them. Anyone that's going to give a little bit of banter, that's top stuff.
Well, I was watching the Cray Lancing highlights. It must have been last week. And considering, like, where Cray on the table, like, there's one half, there was absolutely no one behind their goal.
Tragic, isn't it?
And I'm like thinking, these guys are pushing for the title. There's obviously, they'll obviously have fans around the other side of the ground, but yeah, literally behind the guy that was attacking, there was no one.
Yeah.
And you've actually just triggered another thought to me, actually watching those multimillionaires strolling about on the telly, and all the carping that was going on about Premiership footballers and their workload and this sort of thing.
Fuck yeah.
And it really occurred to me that these guys, well, obviously that you watched over Christmas, and semi-pro footballers, they have families, lots of them have jobs, they go to college, they have to miss out on their Christmas, they have to keep it neat on New Year's Eve because they're playing the next day. And then a lot of them will have gone back to work today, and you know they're the people who are really doing a job. It's just quite incredible, really. I think it's quite credit to them what they do, especially over the holiday period.
Yeah.
You know,
Leon Posty. Leon's a Posty. You're still playing it, you Leon?
Yeah, of course I am.
Yeah. See, representing.
Yeah, no, it's incredible, really. I mean, these everyone, you know, all credit to them. I think it's fantastic. I know they love doing it, and yeah, Leon is quite close to that situation, aren't you? And it's amazing what they do, and they're holding down jobs and they're making the sacrifices as well. I think you should big up to them, really.
Yeah, I mean, I was tempted to go onto public services and NHS Heroes just to annoy a certain person in this room, but we won't do that.
I think you're pretty round about it, to be honest.
Keeping the country safe, George. Over
the Christmas period over here.
Yeah,
all connected.
Exactly. There's Leon. He's keeping Amazon Prime in the thing that you know. There's my lot all going off sick with nothing wrong with them, and George's lot who get everyone in masks.
I'm keeping all the Tory donors testing companies in money with all my antics.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I'm supposed to be quarantining now, actually, you know, till my PCR test comes back.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So when you go abroad now, you have to do a PCR test, and you're supposed to stay under covers until the result comes back.
Well, have you not been then? You sound surprised.
Huh?
He ain't, has he?
You said, have you not been? You sound quite.
Of course I have. Of course I have. I'm phoning in from my hermetically sealed bunker.
Talking of hermetically sealed bunkers, I must say, I just must touch on this, that I think George, I put this out there. I have to speak about it. The wonderful events at Whitehawk. Truly entertaining stuff. George, you're on. Please, if you could just mention the beautiful, that awe-inspiring tweets and action, please.
So what you've got is, for those who don't know, Whitehawk lost 1-0 at home to Three Bridges yesterday, and there were 5 red cards, 3 to the Three Bridges side and 2 to Whitehawk. The highlights are readily available online for those of you who fancy a laugh. Pitch was absolutely dreadful. So I thought, what's going on here? So I read the match feeds for the both teams, and you got the Whitehawk official match Twitter like mocking of like a Three Bridges player for scooping a ball over the bar, when actually it's just about bubbled up off their terrible pitch. Like, it's probably the worst pitch I've seen at this level for some time. And the Three Bridges pitch a few years ago was pretty bad. That was even worse. What's made it even better is that obviously Whitehawk are the loveliest people on the planet, as they like to tell everyone. And they are some sore losers. And the Three Bridges players have been ruining and bantering the Whitehawk fans for the last 24 hours on Twitter about it. And not a lot of sense of humour from the Whitehawk camp. So
yeah.
It made it onto South East News. The 6:30, the game was actually on the South East News bulletin today. So that's
and now they're all saying, "Oh, that's not representative of our club. We're nice people."
I think they showed the bloke shinning it over the bar when the goalie was off his line, And they also showed the kung fu kick, which was absolutely
Oh, it was beautiful.
That's all I've seen. I haven't
So
seen. the
why
full
didn't they
highlights.
show? Why didn't they show the free bridges? I mean, the BBC are pretty lazy, so
Yeah.
I imagine that
They showed the rugby. They showed the rugby tackle.
Good. I'm glad they showed that. Did they show the goal?
No.
The
But
goal.
why? There was one goal in the game, and they've not shown it.
Yeah, but I think the other
beautiful.
stuff was far more. You know, when
you haven't seen the goal.
The goal is pretty funny.
Oh, well, when a commentator says that's just the sort of thing we don't want to see, and you're thinking that's exactly the sort of thing we want to see.
I think it might have been Joe who said great distribution from the keeper.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at. Well, I'll have to look up the goal because I've seen all the. Yeah, I've seen the rugby tackle, the kung fu kick.
Yeah, the other one was quite lucky not to get sent off. Another White Hawk player, wasn't he? Did he start whacking on bloke on the ground or trying to grab him by his throat?
He was whacking him with love and peace and humanity and some
and equality and equity.
Yeah, he was probably hitting him the same as he's hit other players in the past. So yeah, all for that.
Yeah. Anyway, George filled me in on all this meltdown, and I just I've got a special place in my heart for White Hawk.
It's fantastic. So. If it wasn't for the weather, it could have been one of those things they show, the footage they show from South America. It was only the weather and the pitch that gave the game away. If you'd have said that was from sort of, I don't know, Peru or something, or one of those Peruvian leagues, you'd have say, oh, and 3 people were shot afterwards.
That's Colombia, isn't it?
Oh shit!
Bar United.
Yeah, exactly. It was
right.
But you know what? George. They bang on about how lovely they are and all their diversity. They all look the same to me. Hastings away support. Hastings away support is truly diverse and wonderful in all of its glory, and I love it. I wouldn't change anything about our support.
Yeah,
it's just a wonder.
Histed.
Long live Gary Histed.
Gary Histed. I pray that the God that is Gary Histed and his entourage.
The other news is that Gary Elphick has been given Manager of the Month for December.
Yes.
Which means we are guaranteed to lose on Saturday because that is how Manager of the Month works. So it's extra support down the pilot fields.
Louis Rogers, won goalie of the month.
Well, that means we'll concede 5 as well then. So that is how those awards seem to work. But I'm sure we'll fight through that. But we need to give Gary Histed an award. I think he deserves something.
He does deserve something, definitely. Please, if people want to write in or tweet what Gary Histed deserves, please at HUFC podcast or yeah. Oh my God, Gary, I do love him. Right. I think we are done, chaps. I'm just trying to think if there's anything. No, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's look ahead to Sittingbourne.
Sittingbourne.
It is Sittingbourne, isn't it?
Faversham.
Is it Faversham next? Oh shit. Oh, I got an email from Sittingbourne. That was it. Sorry. Is it Faversham next? Yeah. It's all right. So, the joy of editing means I never made any of these mistakes. Right. It is definitely Faversham.
Good job. You're not club scout, isn't it? It's all right, Gary. I've sorted us out. I've prepared us for their massive, slow but 6'4" striker today, and they've got a Gary Lineker instead. So.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it weird to see Bamba at VCD? I just wouldn't imagine Bamba playing for them.
Closer to home, isn't it?
I don't know. Is he a Londoner?
Yeah, I thought he was.
Oh, was he? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry, random comment there. Yeah, so looking forward to Faversham. What are we thinking, fellas?
Well, since Sittingbourne have pulled out the game, I'm glad Faversham could fill in their players on Saturday. If any Faversham fans are thinking of coming to the game, you can make some noise and sing at our ground. So I'll be looking forward to welcoming you. Sussex Brewery's Longman Brewery is better than Shepherd Neame, so you'll enjoy that. Yeah, so it should be a good one, and just hope for another 4-figure crowd.
So yeah, just looking at Faversham's results. I mean, they just got beat by Whitstable, right? Now Whitstable are terrible, right? So let's hope that Faversham turns up on Saturday, because that Whitstable's definitely the worst team I've seen this season.
Oh, they scored 2 against Herne Bay.
They drew with Ashford, actually, away at Ashford.
They conceded 7 against Herne Bay, but they did score 2. So,
Did they? What are you on about?
Whitstable did.
Whitstable, don't confuse me. I'm bloody git.
So I'm looking forward to the Chichester game Saturday. It's gonna be nice, and it's away as well. So.
You git. Oh well, actually, let's talk about that. Chichester. Right, so we were trying to make it, a few of us fans were going to go make a bit of a big old away day of it. It was Chichester, it was in February. What date is that, please?
26th?
20, yeah. Yeah, because I'm off that week and my football season will probably be ending soon, so I'm looking forward
to Saturday the 26th of February.
Saturday the 26th of February.
Yeah.
So anyone listening, please, we're going to try and make a big sort of, make something of it and be good fun.
Interesting. The end of January is the Ashford away game, isn't it? That'll be quite a interesting one.
Well, it's also my birthday.
Oh, is it?
Or
maybe they'll let you in for free, Chris.
I'll try everything, mate. Leon was with me. Andy, I was trying to get, just to annoy George, was trying to get my usual NHS discount I get as an NHS hero. And
where does everywhere give NHS discounts? Have I missed something here?
Yeah.
One ground.
I think one.
That's so last year.
Yeah. And they don't anymore.
Well, no, it's when the new wave comes through. We've had Omicron. It's called Discount-a-thon, and it's going to be just Discount-a-thon. Scrounge-a-thon. No, that was Will's a few weeks back. Some random ground. Which ground were we at, George, where we got discount?
Haywards Heath.
They weren't doing the discount anymore, and then we said, "Oh, we're John's asked," and I'm like, "Oh, John, what are you doing?" And he goes, "They're like, yeah." And I thought, I think Leon, spite George, I'm doing it.
I think Leon could play the postman card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should try that more often.
Yeah.
He'd probably turn up at the wrong ground if he's been a postman, wouldn't he? So.
Or turn up late. That's the other one.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah. Or even turn up at all.
Or come twice, but that's
or just sit in the porch and refuse to go in.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think maybe on that note we need to finish this.
Anyway, we'll look forward to Real Madrid on Saturday and leave it at that.
Yeah, hopefully Benzema's playing. Chaps, absolute pleasure. And Andy, Leon, George, see you at the game.
Yeah, nice to be back.
Yeah, see you at the game.
Yeah. Take care, Leon. See you, boys. Maybe. Take care, fellas.
Cheers.
Bye.
Yeah.